Breakfast. We're staring into space now with Dylan Storey. Thanks very much to the Auckland Stardome Observatory. Dylan Storey with us this morning. Good morning, Dylan.
Good morning.
And today we're talking about those fireballs that were seen over California this week, exploding rocks and whatnot. What went on?
A lot of people saw a big fireball above California in the daytime, which means it must have been extra bright.
Yeah.
And scientists are estimating that it was about the size of a minivan, which is pretty damn big for a rock to be crashing into Earth. But not that rare. It's estimated something that size enters into Earth about once a year somewhere.
Okay.
And this one happened to be in Northern California in the morning, so one of the most populated areas at a very busy time of day, so many people saw it. And not only did people see it, but people got it on video. So I always find it quite amazing when something like this happens, just how many people happen to be holding a video camera at the time.
Well, everyone's got these days with a camera phone in their pocket. It's so easy, isn't it?
Yeah, but this thing would happen pretty quickly, It's not going to take, minutes or even 30 seconds to cross the sky.
Mm.
You've pretty much got to have your camera out and going if you're going to catch it.
Okay. And what did it look like? I haven't seen any footage.
There's some photos out there, and I think there's some video. It just sort of looks like a bright thing streaking across the sky and leaving a bit of a trail.
Okay.
And
where was it headed? Do we know?
There is a trajectory mapped. I can't remember offhand which way it was going. I think it might have been sort of southwest to northeast. It headed, but the video that's out there, they have managed to triangulate its trajectory from all the different video sources and sort of compile a pretty good radar map of where it's gone. And so NASA and the asteroid hunters team are appealing to the public for any more video they might have, and not just handheld video, but actually security camera videos.
Of course, yeah.
Particularly useful there. The number of security cameras that would happen to be pointing at that area of sky. So they're trying to get a better, more data to get a better estimate of where it's gone. And the reason for that is because it's big enough so that it would have split into particles, and a lot of those small pieces would have hit the ground, and a lot of them have already been found.
Really?
Several samples have been several samples have been found along the projected landing zone by. I'm not sure if the public has been finding them yet, but there are these asteroid hunter fanatics, I guess you could call them, who go around and find meteorites. So a bit of terminology, we call them meteors when they're going through space, we call them meteorites when they hit the ground.
Right.
So these are now meteorites.
Rather extraordinary to find fragments like that. I mean, surely it'd be like needle in a haystack sort of stuff.
Yeah, but there's a picture of one here you've got on your screen of a guy finding one in a car park, and he happens to be a meteorite hunter. So,
but I mean, how do you? I mean, you look at it and go, well, it's a rock. It's like any other rock.
It's a rock, exactly. Yeah. So if you're a member of the public coming out of the shopping mall into the car park, you just think it's a rock. But if you're sort of trained to be looking for that, you'll notice that it's a rock that looks out of place. It's slightly different. I mean, they're not sort of all weathered like the Earth rocks. They've just come from a burning chunk of metal from outer space, so they're still fairly fresh looking, as you could say. And I've heard firsthand from a lot of people who have found meteorites that they just saw it there and they just thought it looked out of place.
Yeah. It looks Martian.
Yeah, Martian. Although analysis of the fragments that they've found so far are finding a certain type of mineral which I find hard to pronounce, something like chondrites or something. I'm no geologist. But that indicates that it's a primitive piece of rock. So it's a piece of rock that's been floating around since the formation of the solar system, not sort of something that's been created relatively recently by maybe a collision between comets or something, or having even some meteorites are suspected to have come from Mars. So it's not one of those. It's one of these very old rocks.
Any potential to be infected by alien virus?
Always, Whammo. Always.
Because if you find one of these, handle with care, call the authorities, what would you do? Would you just keep it? Put it in a box and watch it glow at night?
Just keep it and put it in a box, yeah.
And it starts whispering your name.
I mean, they're pretty cool rocks. I don't know. No, I would keep it, but I would also report it to scientists so they could see it.
Sure.
But I'd say, you can't have it. It's mine.
It's yours. These things fetch a decent price, don't they? Depending on how big they are.
A big one does, yeah. And they're suspecting that there could be particles out there up to 1 kilogram, which is pretty big, which would probably fetch a price, yeah. But the little fragments, 4 grams, they would probably fetch a price, and they'd be very useful to researchers, of course. The Stardome Observatory actually has some fragments of a meteorite for sale. These little, I'm not sure how heavy they are. They're probably the size of a 50-cent coin or something, and they're sort of cut into slices, so you can see the strange alignment of the metals, the sort of crisscrossing metal structure that's caused by something in the way space rocks are formed.
But also, if these fragments had hit a car or a house or something like that, would they have caused some damage?
Probably not the ones that we're seeing here, the little ones, because we're seeing the one that was found in the car park, and it hasn't made a dent in the asphalt or anything. So, the main rock, the minivan-sized rock, pretty much exploded.
Yeah.
High in the atmosphere. It actually exploded with a third the force of the Hiroshima bomb.
Wow.
Which is pretty big, but it happened pretty high up. So, and it wasn't directed anywhere, so it didn't have any damage. So they've lost their kind of explosive force they've kind of shed their velocity that they had when they came in from space, and so the energy they've got when they hit the ground is just pretty much the dropping from the sky energy. So you certainly wouldn't want to land on your head. And anything of any size, getting up towards 1 kilogram, I imagine, would potentially go through a roof or something.
Like
but
what happened
they're not going to.
That happened in South Auckland at some point, didn't it? Straight through the roof, through the ceiling, almost through the floor.
In Ellerslie, it landed on the couch.
That's right.
When was that? It must have been about 2005.
Yeah, maybe a bit earlier. Yeah, pretty freaky. I'd start questioning things, at that point. If that happened to my house, it'd be like, yeah. Of all the places, of all the whole world would land on the roof of my house, something's going on. But it's
got to land somewhere, doesn't it?
But there's something like destiny, the fact that piece of rock was always going to land on that piece of earth, always, since the dawn of time, was always that was its destiny. Was always going to be there at that time.
Maybe. Are you talking about a fully deterministic universe?
Well, yeah, because no human altered the path of that rock, No,
but so many sort of random configurations of space did. Passing of planets gradually.
Yeah, but those things were always going to happen. Right from the Big Bang. Maybe. Just a thought, Dylan. Pretty freaky.
Yeah.
Anyway, that wraps up.
Humans built the house.
Well, the humans built the house. What I'm saying is that the rock was destined to hit that piece of earth, whether the house was in the way or not. It was always going
Yes, it could have been. Big debate in philosophy.
Yeah. All right. Thanks very much, the Auckland Stardome Observatory. That is Dylan Storey, twitter.com/Dylan Storey as well. Time now here on Kiwi, 10 minutes away from 8.